Welcome everyone to this new episode of Cold Email Teardown, where we tear down your cold email to help your business grow. The concept is pretty simple. You send us your cold email and we invite a cold email expert to tear it down and write it again. Today, I'm happy to welcome Victor, co-founder at Scalability. Victor, welcome.
Hi there, I'm Victor, the co-founder of Scalability. We are the first agency in France dedicated to outbound growth. We are trusted by over 100 clients, startup or scale-up companies all over the world, such as Penny Lane in France, Impact.com in the US, or Smudge in Germany. Scalability is a plug-and-play solution to launch your outbound growth. We provide you data, copywriting, and sales ops operation, sales ops integration. It's an all-in-one offer. We do all that can be automated and provide you qualified sales meetings. Our unfair advantage over other agency is surely our data warehouse that allows us to ingest as much data as you need to generate more demonstration, and that's it.
Okay, cool. Thanks for joining us today, and let's dive right into it and check the first email. So I'm going to read it. So on today's episode, we're going to break down a cold email sent by an advertisement agency who targets e-commerce businesses, and the goal of this email was to book a consultation call with e-commerce businesses who are not advertising on Pinterest. So let's break it down and see what works and what does not work. So the subject line is first name, I have a note for company. Hi, first name, icebreaker. Just have one question for you. I can see from your traffic pixel that you have been driving paid traffic to your site. Yet, I noticed that you aren't optimizing for Pinterest traffic. I'm very curious to know why. We are responsible for scaling multiple 7 to 8 figure brands with high converting scroll stopping UGC, which is user generated content, and paid media ads, especially but not exclusively on Pinterest. The results are on average a 3x less expensive customer acquisition cost for 2x more conversions. Highest performing creative class to date, it's like the new word of mouth. Let me know if this sparks your interest. I have 2 or 3 ideas that would benefit you. Thank you. All right, Victor, I'm really curious to know what you think about this code email. I do feel it's pretty good, but what do you think?
Yes, to be honest, I think this email is fine. For me, is the part of the top of the list of email I could receive within a week, a classic week. If I need to give you some insight, maybe on the subject line, it's pretty interesting to have a shorter subject line because this one sounds salesy, I think, because everyone knows my first name and the name of my company in the subject line is obviously salesy email, cold email. So I think the goal, the new goal in the subject line is to be vague, also curiosity. So I prefer use quick questions, feedbacks, further discussion or progress. I think an interesting thing is to be perceived like internal email. So the aim is to be. It could be tricky, but you can try to just add a word can be used by your own colleagues in the company. And just to finish on the subject line, don't forget the aim of the subject line is just to be open and no more. So don't try to add some information into it. The subject line don't be don't be perceived like newsletter subject line. So try to be shorter as possible. Concerning the icebreaker variable, in this email, I think the icebreaker is just the first sentence after the variable icebreaker, so you don't need to use it. A lot of people use icebreaker, but the icebreaker doesn't make sense with the rest of the email. So it sounds like, oh, I use a new tool to build this icebreaker, but anyway, it's not important if it doesn't make sense with the rest of the email. So icebreaker must be relevant, or don't use it is not necessarily useful in your email to use it. I think when you prepare a new campaign, the differences will be the lead listing, so your data listing, and all your copy just be the result of your data list. So please try to have a right segment with the good intent, and after your copywriting goes well, of course, it's just the result of the reason of why them. Icebreaker, it's okay. And my third insight will be on the CTA. You could see here you have a CTA, but without questions. And question marks is really important because a question always awaits an answer. So it's more engaging to put a question mark and just to use question. So please, in your CTA, use the question.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Victor. I do agree with you, especially on the icebreaker. Actually, the icebreaker adds personalization, but if it's not relevant, your prospect is not going to like it. So always make sure to add relevancy when you personalize your email. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Okay, now I'm really curious, even though this email was actually pretty good, I'm really curious to know what your own version would look like. So now let's take a look at how Victor would write this email again.
Yes, of course, I did my homework. So subject line is quick questions for me. And after the mail, just below is hi, first name. I can see on your website domain, you have been using tracking pixel. Yet, I noticed that you aren't optimizing for Pinterest traffic. However, Pinterest represents on average of XX% of competitor names traffic. We help e-commerce in the same industry unleash the potential of Pinterest. The results are on average a 3 times less expensive customer acquisition cost for 2 times more conversions. Would you be interested in lowering your CAC? Thanks.
Okay, I think actually, even though the first email was really good, yours is much better. Why do you think your version works better?
Yeah, if I split the email in 4 parts, maybe for the subject line, for the hook, for the body, and for the CTA, I could say on the subject line, I try to be more vague and short, just to catch their attention. On the hook or the intro, I had a custom variable website domain, so it is explain more the why I outreach them. For the body, I give us value which data point on competitors, so it stimulates their curiosity. So if I use, I don't know, if I try to outreach Lemlist and I talk about Salesloft figures, or I talk about Woodpecker figures, you will be more curious about what I know about them and what I can bring value to you. And for the body, I use also KPIs. So it's kind of KPIs, social proof in their vertical, because I use the variable of same industry. So in the same way that the competitor name that allows me to catch their attention, and they want to know more about what I know. And for the last part, the CTA, I use a question, of course, and I use a question based on the interest. The aim of the CTA is to ask them questions they would be stupid to say no to. So try to use just a question. It's an obvious question. You need to have the answer, or you need to say yes to this question, because if not, you are stupid.
Okay, thanks a lot, Victor, for the insights, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you a lot, Simon, to invite me and to the opportunity to be there with you.
Of course. Guys, if you want your cold email to be analyzed by one of our experts, just fill out the form in the description below. And also, if you want to have a chat with someone from Scalability's team on how they would be able to help you in your outbound efforts, you can find all of the info in the description below. Bye-bye.
Bye.